Alright, welcome back to another episode of Andrew's Garage, and I'm back to work on the Pontiac. It just seems to be never ending, but every day we're getting a little closer. Basically, I got my pedals mounted back in it for now, and I'm kind of eyeballing and getting my measurements for the brand new clutch master cylinder and brake master cylinder. I'm actually running manual brakes. Also no power. So I'm just kind of eliminate, make everything as simple as possible. So it'll be manual brakes. I did get a Wilwood unit, 7/8 bore. It should be pretty nice. So now I'm just marking holes, punching holes through the firewall, getting everything mounted, getting my linkages made, and making sure everything's going to work together. So I think it's going to end up being kind of weird the way these Camaro pedals are, because that's where the pedals came from, is out of a 94 Camaro. So I do believe my master cylinder for my brakes is going to be way here, and this is going to mount right next to it, up a little higher, and it's just going to have to go wherever I can get it. So basically I'm going to try to hold this tight to that line and down, and make that guy as tight as I can to the master cylinder that I'm bumping. It's nice because it's a dual feed line, so you can mount them on either side, plug off whatever side you don't want to use. So in this instance, I want to use the inside ones towards the motor, because that'll give me a max amount of room, so I don't have to worry about getting in traffic whenever I try to run these lines out of this. So, and this will have a proportioning valve on it. I don't think I'm going to do a line lock for now. That's always stuff I can add later. But the proportioning valve would be nice for all the disc brakes, and then later on, whenever I get time, I will be adding a line lock. But for now, I just want to get it on the road for September. So we're running line along. I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy mounted, try to give myself the max amount of room, and then get this guy mounted as close as I can without coming in contact. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now, and we'll see how it works out. Well, that pretty much wraps up everything that I wanted to get done tonight. I definitely wanted to get the master cylinders mounted and work the pedals, make sure the strokes are fine. And I wanted to get these lines done to the proportional valve, which I mounted the proportional valve sideways on the firewall, which I mounted them lower than those ports to make sure that for any air reasons that it was still lower than everything, which I think as long as it's lower than the fluid level, I think you're fine. But I just wanted to be sure, so I mounted it just a little bit lower, turned it the other way, faced this brake switch that way, which prior I had it kind of in towards the motor, and I didn't really like it, so I ended up turning it around. Then I got the top lines ran, everything looks good. Everything worked out okay. It's kind of like the easy bend copper line. You see me working it pretty hard with no bending tool, but I knew I had to do some crazy loops to get it around. And then coming inside the cab here, you can see, which I'm not sure about the clutch pedal yet or how it's going to work. It might be, I know it's going to be hard to push, but as long as this doesn't feel like it's not enough pedal stroke, and the brake actually feels good, looks good, bottoms out, works like it should. So I got both the Heim joints there, along with the pins, the 5/16 pins here, the clips. All that is from the local hardware. But I got everything mounted, everything's tight. Pedals have a little bit of side-to-side play, but they feel nice. The mount is solid up here. Firewall's all good. Pretty happy with the way everything turned out so far. And next day I get some time to work on this, I will. So did as much as I could tonight. I'm happy where I left off. Pretty much what I want to do though is change all these bolts out here that are 1/4-20s. They all are hardened, but it just makes me feel better if they were all 5/16 or even 3/8 bolts, but I'll probably go 5/16 just to make sure. The clutch master cylinder is already 5/16, so I want to change all these bolts out here, which I got them all on the ground there to do. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out. So I will continue on the next time. Alright, so now that I got those two brake lines ran for the front and rear ports of the proportional valve, I'm going to work on getting the brand new spindle brackets for the disc brakes up front for the metric brake conversion. I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. I got to switch over the inner and outer races to go with the bearings. And it comes with new dust seals and everything else like that in the cap. So I'm going to work on getting everything switched over so I can start running my lines up front. And once I get them done, I'm going to try to work on the rear brakes this week, get them knocked out, get them all done. Alright, so I got one side buttoned up. It went pretty well. I had a little bit of a hiccup with the original mount that I had for the rubber line. I actually came in contact with the tire, which I was kind of unaware that the tire was actually so close to the frame. I mean, it's literally about an 1/8 inch, which I think is going to be fine because you'll never be turning that sharp going around a corner that's all the way fully locked. So I'm not too concerned about it. It'll be fine. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I also went ahead and replaced these rubber boots because the original ones that came with the brand new upper control arms and lowers already had ripped to shreds. They were brand new. Just sitting in here, they were dry. I never did grease them, but just sitting in here, they rotted, which was amazing. So these are kind of like a, I don't know what you call them, like neoprene almost. They don't really feel like rubber. They're kind of more solid. But anyways, so I went ahead, grease the top one as soon as I get the other side done, and I'll jack it up higher so I can grease the bottom one. But it's pretty much just rinse and repeat for the other side. So I'll go ahead and get the other side buttoned up. Alright, that pretty much wraps up the brake lines. Everything is ran except for the small brake line that comes off that rear brake tee, which is no big deal. I just ran out of brake line. This is 3/16, it's easy bend. It's not the best, but it's not the worst ever. It's nice and easy to deal with, especially for all that. But overall, I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I do believe that pretty much concludes the brakes. The only thing left I need to do tomorrow is I'm going to take off these two guys, finish the last brake line piece, and I'm going to replace all these bolts with 5/16. So once all them bolts are changed out and the brake lines ran, I will try to bleed this guy. And we'll see how everything goes. And that'll be at the conclusion of the brake lines. But thanks for watching. See you later.